Cardenas, Garcetti, Grohl, Hahn, Labange, Ludlow, Miskowski, Parks, Perry, Reyes, Smith, Villaraigosa, Weisstein, Padilla, 10 members present and a quorum, Madam President.
Good morning. This is a meeting of the Los Angeles City Council for Tuesday, October 12th. The City Council is now in session. And on Tuesdays, we begin with a salute to the flag. Let me ask Councilmember Perry to lead us in the flag salute. Ms. Perry? Ms. Perry, would you lead us in the flag salute?
Thank you very much. Place your right hand over your heart and begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Madam Clerk?
First order of business is approval of the minutes.
Mr. Garcetti moves, Mr. Laban seconds. The minutes are approved.
Commendatory resolutions for approval.
Mr. Cardenas moves, Mr. Ludlow seconds. Those are also approved.
Madam President, this is the time for comments from the public on items not on council's agenda.
We do have 2 comments cards that were submitted for public comment. Let me call forward Ms. Irene Kasmer and Mr. Jim McQuiston. Irene?
Thank you, Your Honor, Ms. Shakowski, and all the council members. I am here to comment on item number 61, which is a library, and it's closed up. And I have taken pictures, and I have tried to raise money, and I have some money coming from the county, which is $250,000. His Honor Yaroslavsky knows about this place, and he's trying to help me raise money to pay for the library, which is a part of city property. And I was told if I find a city property that I will be given that place to preserve the collection all the way back. The motion is in front of His Honor Labange, all the way back from June 22, 2001, and it says that the city will help and the city council will help to preserve the collection. And I have in front of you, I hope, different documents saying to postpone this library sale. Only the one on Gardner, not the other one. I am not for all the libraries. I want the city to make money on the libraries. But I was told, and here is a letter from General Services, from Lourdes Oven, and she is the asset management. And she, about 8 weeks ago, she sent me, and she said that this library is available for a nonprofit, and that I should apply for it, which I did, and I'm raising money for it, and I would like that one item to postpone, right. Not all of 61, just to take that library out on Gardner till I come back and tell you how much money I have raised by Friday.
All right, I will consider that as testimony on item 61, public comment on item 61, which will be before us later. Mr. McQuiston.
Thank you very much for listening to me.
Jim McQuiston, East Hollywood Community Association. Some time ago, the City Council enacted a new ordinance for lighting districts. And in that lighting district, we found that there was a quick change in the way the lighting districts were going to be assessed. Instead of on a street basis, in other words, your street frontage, it was going to be on the area of the lot, which didn't have any relation to the lighting. And the City Council, after thinking about this, said that they were going to change this in the future back to where it was on the street frontage. So we are still waiting for that to happen, and I bring it up just to remind you of that.
Thank you, Mr. McQuiston. That closes public comment, and we will now Let's resume the agenda.
Items for which public hearings have been held, items 1 through 21. Item number 11 is submitted personnel report, submitting recommendations without recommendation. A motion is required.
All right, if there's any, we do have cards submitted on 8 and 11, but public hearings were held, so it would take a motion from the floor to open. Mr. Garcetti?
Can we move the Housing Department recommendation, please?
On item 11? All right, we do have the recommendation on item 11 for the Housing Department report. Mr. Cardenas?
Continue item number 1 for 2 weeks.
All right, there's a request to continue item 1. Is there any objection? If not, that will be continued for 2 weeks.
And that would be October 26th.
All right, Mr. Zine. Mr. Zine, did you have a...
I want to call 11 special.
All right, so we will call 11 special, and Mr. Garcetti has moved the housing report. Mr. Parks?
Number 8 special.
Number 8 is special for Councilmember Parks. Mr. Villaraigosa?
I was going to call item 8 special as well, and also item 15.
All right. Item 15 is called special additionally. Members, any other items 2 through 21? Seeing none, open the roll. Close the roll. Tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
Those are approved.
Next items, Madam President, are items for which public hearings have not been held. Items 22 through 60. 10 votes are required for consideration.
There are no public cards, comment cards that were submitted on those items, so I will open the hearing and close the hearing. Items 22 through 60 are now before us. Any specials, members? Mr. Ludlow.
Continue 34 and 35 for 45 days.
All right, there's a request to continue 34 and 35. Without objection, that will be the order. The remainder of the items are before us. Any other specials? Items 22 through 60. Seeing none, those are then called up for a vote. Open the roll. Close the roll. Tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
Those are approved as well.
Next item, Madam President, is on the supplemental agenda, item number 61, and that is item for which public hearing has not been held.
Mr. Parks, did you?
Number 16 forthwith.
Okay, 16 will go forthwith, per Mr. Parks' request. Item 61 is now before us, members. We do have an ordinance on that. Is there any, item 61? No motions, not calling it special? Then the matter is before us. Open the roll. Close the roll. Tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
That is approved, and there is a request to Mr. Parks to send that forthwith. We will do that.
And Madam President, 10 votes are required to suspend the rules in order for that file to be released.
All right, there's a request to suspend the rules so that file can be released and processed. If there's no objection, open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
That is approved, and we'll send that forthwith with suspension. Mr. Villaraigosa.
Item 46 special.
Item 46, we just had taken that, so let's open the roll on reconsideration. No objection. Close the roll, tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
All right, that matter will be reconsidered, and we will call it special. Item 46.
Going back to the items called special, Madam President, item number 8 was called special by Councilmember Parks.
Councilmember Parks and Villaraigosa. Let's start with Councilmember Parks.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would just want to commend the LA Unified School District in taking immediate action and naming the Science Center School in the 8th District in Exposition Park, the only one of its kind, a math science magnet in honor of Dr. Ted Alexander, a person that spent 3 decades of his life in the LA Unified School District, a person that was world-renowned as it relates to his accomplishments, not only in the educational field, but just as a community activist, and someone that recently passed away and certainly is going to be missed within this community. And they could not have a better example for this new school that just opened September of this year. They have Dr. Alexander as their role model and a person that they named the school. And I just really want to commend the LA Unified School District for their quick action and doing this with the new school opening and unfortunately losing him in the last month. And so we certainly had put forth this motion, did not expect this quick action, but really are pleased to see it.
Thank you. Mr. Villaraigosa. Mr. Villaraigosa? Did you want to speak on item 8 as well? It's a school district naming issue.
Yes. On item 8, when this left our committee, the committee had amended this ordinance to indicate that it not be, that the naming of the Science Center and Exposition Park after Dr. Theodore Alexander, or more importantly, the naming of newly constructed schools after Celis King III and Larry McCormick not be limited to just CD8. There was a feeling on the part of the committee that all of the city, these are city leaders, and we want any school in the city of Los Angeles to be able to honor Celis King III and Larry McCormick. I spoke with the council member who had sponsored this, Mr. Parks, and he understood and agreed.
All right. Mr. Labange.
Thank you very much, Mr. Villaraigosa. I believe the procedure is that there's, once a new school like Central High School number 1 or Central Elementary number 7, they select a principal, and there's a process which the district goes through on this here. So this will be in that process?
Yes,
And
absolutely.
they select it or choose whatever.
That's exactly right.
So we know that. So we're all aware of the process that they're doing.
That's exactly right.
Great. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Labange. This matter is now before us. Open the roll. Close the roll. Tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
That matter is approved.
Next item, Madam President, item number 11, called special by Councilmember Zine.
Mr. Zine, item 11. And we do have cards that were submitted. The public hearing had already been held in committee.
Thank you, Madam President. My questions have been answered by the city attorney. My questions have been answered on this by the city
All right.
attorney.
So there is no one else wishing to speak. Mr. Garcetti had moved the Housing Committee report. I noted that I think Housing Department report and all of the speaker cards were in support. So we'll make that noted as a part of the file. Open the roll. Close the roll. Tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
That is approved.
Next item, Madam President, item number 15 was called special by Councilmember Villaraigosa.
Councilmember Villaraigosa.
Yes, this was the item that Ms. Hahn had asked be pulled until such time as the Neighborhood Council had an opportunity to review it. They have. They've approved it last Wednesday, and we all agreed that once they did that, it would be a pro forma affirmation on our part to designate the residential area surrounding Cal State University, LA as University Hills. And with that, I would urge your aye vote.
All right, we heard Mr. Villaraigosa's correction. I see no one else wishing to speak on this item, so the matter is before us. Open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
That is approved.
Next item is item number 46, and that was called special by Councilmember Villaraigosa.
Councilmember Villaraigosa. Item 46.
Yes, I wanted to offer a substitute motion that for street services to deliver and pick up barricades and sweep streets before and after the event as well.
All right, we've heard that technical correction to the motion as well on item 46. That is before us. Open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
That is approved.
Next item, Madam President, council has motions for posting and referral.
They are posted and referred.
There is an excuse on the desk. Councilmember Perry requests to be excused Friday, October 22nd, to arrive at 11:30. A motion is required.
Mr. Zine moves, Mr. Weiss seconds. That excuse is approved.
And that clears the desk.
The desk is now cleared. Members, are there any announcements? Ms. Perry.
I would like to invite everybody to celebrate Latino Heritage Month along with myself, the Los Angeles City Employees Chicano Association, Latin American Law Enforcement Association, and Los Bomberos, Friday, October the 15th, 5:30 p.m. to 12 midnight in the City Hall South Courtyard, located at 200 North Main Street. And you can enter from City Hall East. There's going to be a lot of dancing and door prizes, and as always, good food starting at 6 o'clock.
Thank you for that announcement. Any other announcements, members? Are there any adjourning tributes? We do have adjourning tributes, so could I ask everyone in the audience to please rise for adjourning tributes? Mr. Ludlow.
Thank you, Madam President. I have two adjourning motions. The first one is for John Drain. John Drain was captain of the Navy boxing team, and he led his team to beat Joe Louis's Army team during World War II. His crew was the first black seaman in the Navy, back when blacks were stewards or cooks. To begin his professional career, when he got out of the Navy, he married Ella Gillespie in 1950, and his two children, David B. Drain and Dawn Drain. He opened a roller rink at 2517 Washington Boulevard, which is still there. If you drive past there, you can still see it, in 1965. And Smart Set Workshop above the rink, where he would have sock hops and entertainment at his club. He later started a feeding program for children to have a breakfast in the morning before going to school, and he believed that a child could learn better in school if they would have a proper breakfast in the morning. He also started a trade school on Western and Adams to train young adults in tailoring and jewelry making. He was co-founder of the Black Businessmen Association. John Drain. Second adjourning motion is for Mr. Wayman Turnman Sr., who was born on January 12, 1922 in Warren County, Georgia. After leaving Georgia, Mr. Turnman made a living as a metal finisher in the New York City area. He was a dedicated volunteer and member to the Mount Olivet Baptist Church, where he served as a deacon. Mr. Turnman spent the remainder of his life as a recognized and appreciated community activist in Chicago. Wayman passed September 19th, leaving behind 4 beloved sons and 4 beloved daughters, 21 grandchildren, 18 great-grandchildren, and 1 brother, who will all greatly cherish his precious memory. And many of you know his son, Glenn Turnman, who is a friend of many of us here on the council.
Thank you, Mr. Ludlow. Councilmember Perry.
Okay. Thank you very much, Madam Chair. I would like to adjourn in memory of a young man who was only 14 years old. His name was Byron Lee, Jr., and he was affectionately known as BJ. He was murdered in front of his own home on Saturday, this Saturday past. He was described as a personable, well-mannered young man who had a real passion for music and would often play basketball in front of his home on East 81st Street. Witnesses told the Los Angeles Police Department that the Fremont High School 9th grader was shot by 2 men in a dark-colored car while riding his bicycle. The assailants then got out of their vehicle and apparently shot and killed this 14-year-old boy as he knelt on the ground, clasped his hands, and begged for his life. He was shot more than 14 times. And at the scene, the police found more than a half-dozen shell casings on the ground. The motive for this shooting has not yet been determined. But there is no motive in the world that would ever merit killing a 14-year-old child, or any child for that matter, and particularly in this animalistic fashion. This is a horrific act of violence, and of course we will not tolerate this. And for those listening at home, please, whatever you can do to support his family and his mother and father. This is the second time they've been touched by the loss of a child, losing his 11-year-old brother not too long ago to cancer. Just remember him in a positive way. Hug your own children. Try to stick together, and whatever information that you can share with the Los Angeles Police Department, so that we can bring these people who took this young child away far too soon, to call 213-485-1385. We will only be able to bring these killers to justice with your help, and in memory of Byron Lee Jr., who was 14 years old.
Mr. Parks.
I'd like to second that. We just had a similar incident of a 14-year-old within walking distance of this site that was just killed. In fact, last Wednesday, we had a $50,000 reward, and the parents were here in the council, and so I'd like to second that. I'd also like to second Mr. Turman, because Glenn has worked closely with us in our district.
Thank you. Mr. Labange.
The young man tragically horrified his community, and I think we should remember these young people, because there's experiences going on that should never go on in any civilized society.
All members will be part of that. Mr. Padilla.
Thank you. I don't think it's been done already, but colleagues, this country and the world lost a hero over the weekend named Christopher Reeves, who passed away of a heart attack. Everybody knew him or got to know him as Superman from the original movies, but in recent years, in my opinion, was a Superman as an advocate for research that could have helped his cause, that of spinal cord injuries that he suffered in a horseback riding incident. But as we all know, timing is everything. I think one way to honor his legacy is to continue to promote awareness and education on cutting-edge research, including stem cell research, that could have aided him in his attempted recovery and others afflicted with a number of diseases as we've discussed.
All members as well. Mr. Villaraigosa.
Yes, Madam President, members, I'd like to adjourn in memory of Arturo Chaira, who was the president of the Boyle Heights Improvement Council, whose purpose was to create more recreational activities and opportunities for Boyle Heights youth. He was a member of the executive board of the CRA Adelante Eastside Project, where he had served for the past 5 years. He was born in Arizona in 1932, and his family settled in Boyle Heights in 1943, and since then people have said about him as a man who lived and breathed Boyle Heights, always seeking to make it better for his family and other families and children. His family is credited with founding El Mercadito on First and Lorena, where Mr. Chaira hosted Hubert Humphrey, Robert Kennedy, and other dignitaries during El Mercadito's early days. He launched Chaira Attorney Services, which his son Gregorio now runs, and has been a man of many firsts. He was the first Latino to be a squadron commander in the U.S. Air Force, where he was a fighter pilot. He received his degree in electrical engineering from Stanford University in 1951, during a time when he was one of a handful of Latinos on campus. He's survived by his wife Betty and 3 sons, Art Jr., Leandro, and Gregorio. Mr. Chaira and Betty would have celebrated their 50th anniversary this Thursday, October 14th. We've lost a great leader, a friend who I've known for some 25 years.
Thank you, Councilmember Mr. Garcetti.
Thank you very much, Madam President. And I just wanted to add a couple words to Christopher Reeve passing away. He was somebody who was active in causes long before his 1995 accident, somebody who did a lot of environmental work, a lot of political work, and believed in a lot of different social justice causes. I also wanted to name his children, Will, who's 12, Matthew, 25, and Alexandra, 21. And also adjourn the memory of another Superman of sorts, Johnny Kelly, who died at the age of 97. He was a 2-time Boston Marathon champion, but he ran the Boston Marathon record 58 times. An inspiration to all of us. He ran in his 90s, full marathon, and somebody who surely was a man of steel in his own right as well. And lastly, we also lost a great intellectual in this world, Jacques Derrida, passed away at 74 from pancreatic cancer in Paris on Friday. Somebody who's credited with founding movement of deconstructionism, which certainly has given a lot of people a lot of headaches over the years, but helped look at how a lot of the knowledge that we take for granted is something that often is loaded with the biases of human history and of human beings. So may he also, and his memory, rest in peace.
Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Okay, I'll hang out here. I'll do a little email right here.
You are watching LA City View, Channel 35. Your city, your channel.